Hey LearnDash fans, in this video we're going to take a look at the Instructor Role plugin for LearnDash. It's by WisdmLabs, and I'm going to walk you through a lot of these features. We've written a comprehensive article over on ldx.design, so if you would prefer a written version, head on over there and check that out. We'll include that in the description for this video. But this is going to walk through a lot of the same things that article talks about. We'll show you how to use it, how it works, what some of the screens look like, and we'll talk you through to see if it is something that will be useful for your online LearnDash site. So the first thing that I want to mention here is on the users and all users screen. So you'll notice a role column, and there's another role that is not normally found with WordPress sites, even ones that are running LearnDash. You don't normally have this instructor role, but now we do, once we add this plugin, have the ability to create a new role for all of our instructors. So let's take a look. Let's go add a new user, and in this role drop down here at the bottom, you'll see this new role that we can choose is called instructor. So when you assign somebody that instructor role, it will enable a lot of the features that I'm going to show you in this video. So I first just want to take a minute or two and go through some of the general settings that you'll find within the instructor role plugin. So you access a lot of the settings under LearnDash LMS and instructor. And then we've got a handful of different tabs in here that each provide some different options where we can enable and disable certain things and set up some specific settings for the plugin. So on this first tab for instructors, you'll see a list of everyone who has been given that instructor role that I just showed you. So on this test site, I have two different instructors, Instructor 1 and Instructor 2. You'll also have quick links to be able to view their profile page, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a few minutes, as well as the Backend and the Frontend dashboard. So they both the Backend and Frontend show similar information, but the Frontend version is relatively newer. WisdmLabs added that to the plugin more recently, and that is going to be more branded towards what your entire site looks like. The Backend version is still going to have some pieces that look similar to the backend of WordPress. So a lot of people are going to want to choose that front-end option because it has all the same features, but you're going to have more ability to customize which information shows up on that dashboard for your instructors, as well as make it look like the rest of your site and not like the back end of WordPress. So these are quick links that'll get you to those pages for that instructor. You also have this commission percentage column, which you can come in here. You can add any sort of percentage commission, and then click on the update button over here. This applies to any instructor who you would like that when a course is purchased, that instructor will get a percentage of that course price. So if the instructor is the one creating that course, or you have some kind of deal with them, then you can assign a certain percentage, and they will receive a percentage of that total sale price every single time that course is sold. We'll cover that a little bit more later as well. Next up is this commission report, and you can choose an instructor and click submit, and it will provide a commission report. Now in this testing example, I don't have any sales on these courses, so you won't see anything here. But once you have some sales, you will see the order ID that is associated, the product and course name, the price, the commission price. So this will be based off of the percentage of the actual price. So all of this information will be pulled in. This does work with WooCommerce. So if you're selling courses with WooCommerce, then you can still use instructor role and get all of your order information, still give a commission percentage to your instructors. And then down here at the bottom, you'll see the payouts transaction history. So every single time you generate a payout and decide that you want to take all of the commission that instructor has earned and you want to pay it out, then you'll see a record of all of those payouts that were made down here in this section. The export tab allows you to export reports. So again, you can have all instructor reports, or you can choose individual instructors that you want to export the reports for, and then you can also select a start date and end date, and when you submit, you will get a nice export of all of the reports that we just saw on the commission reports page. We're going to skip over email for now. We're going to come back to that later. I do want to take a look at the general settings now. So the first area you'll see up here is the backend instructor dashboard settings. So if you want to use the new front end dashboard, then you can completely disable the backend dashboard. And that will not allow any instructors to get to any part of your WP admin area. so they won't be able to access any of the general WordPress admin type pages. This will require you to then use the front-end dashboard. You do have to take a few steps to set up your front-end dashboard. You have to create a page and then assign that page as your dashboard page, then add some Gutenberg blocks or some shortcodes to that page to be able to create your dashboard. But if you want to go that route and you do that, you can completely disable the backend dashboard right here. Under the navigation settings, this will automatically add a dashboard link to the backend dashboard to your primary header menu. So most themes have some kind of primary header menu that gets assigned. This will automatically add a link to the very end of that menu, and it will send all of your instructors to the either the front end dashboard or the back end dashboard. Depends on how you have things set up. If you've disabled the back end, it'll always go to the front end. Otherwise, it will go to the back end. And this link will only show up for instructors. So if I'm an admin and I'm logged in, I won't see it. It will only appear to instructors. Students also won't see anything either. Again, it's just added for that instructor. Another nice setting here is not directly related to the backend dashboard, but it might be. So you can set up a login redirect. That way, anytime somebody who has the role of instructor logs in to WordPress, you can select a specific page that you want to send them to. So in a lot of cases, you might want to send them to your instructor dashboard. So this would be the front-end instructor dashboard page that I created. So every time they log in, they'll get sent to that dashboard where they can then use the course creator, use the quiz creator, and access all of their stats, all their information about commissions, how many students are in their courses, all that good stuff. The next section here is a couple of different features that we can enable or disable for every instructor role that we add. So review product and review course. What these will let you do is, as an administrator, you can allow your instructors to make changes to WooCommerce products and LearnDash courses, but not allow them to publish those changes right away. So as an admin, if you want to review everything before you make it live, then you would enable both of these, and that means that you'll get to double check that before it goes live on the site. The instructor will still be able to access the courses and access the WooCommerce products and make changes, but you will need to approve them before they go out live to all of your students or your potential students. We also have two options here for quiz completion emails and course purchase emails. So anytime a student purchases a course or anytime that a student completes a quiz, if an instructor is assigned to that course or that, and by default then that quiz, in all the quizzes in that course, or if that instructor is an instructor of a specific course, then anytime that course is purchased or anytime a quiz within that course is completed, then you can have an email notification sent to that instructor. I'll show you guys a little bit more about the email settings because there's more that can happen there, and you can customize what those emails are going to say. Instructor commission, if you don't need to use that, you can disable that feature here. If you'd like to use it, then you'll keep it enabled. LearnDash category, this is for when instructors are creating new LearnDash courses. If you don't want to allow them to create new LearnDash course categories, then you would disable this option. If you trust your instructors to be able to create new categories, then you can go ahead and leave that enabled. And finally, student communication. This, you would need to have either BuddyPress or BuddyBoss enabled to use this feature. But if you have those plugins enabled and you have the right modules within those plugins also activated, then you can enable student communication. So then your course instructors will actually be able to communicate with your students directly from the lesson and topic pages themselves. And this last group of settings here is all about the course creator. So this is not the dashboard specifically, but when an instructor goes to create a new course, there's an entire front-end course creator that the Instructor Role plugin offers, and these settings are for that course creation process. So enabling or disabling LearnDash course categories. Again, if you don't use categories or you don't want your instructors to be able to select categories, then just go ahead and disable that. And then same thing with permalinks. If you don't want your instructors to be managing the URL of the course, and that's something you as an administrator want to manage, then you would disable this so that your instructors could not change the URL of a course. Only you as an admin would set that up and say this has to be the URL and get to see that before anything gets published. Then these final options here are for The course and group pricing options. So you can restrict which type of course access mode that an instructor can create a course in. So if you only want your instructor to be able to create closed courses and not any of these other four, you would uncheck these other four options, come down here and save your changes, and then instructors would only be able to create closed courses. Or maybe you want them to be able to do closed and free, you would check just those two options. So here you've got some options in terms of limiting which access modes an instructor can set their course to. All right, so now I want to take a look at the instructor dashboard. So we'll start by looking at the backend dashboard. So I'm going to get to that by coming to LearnDash LMS and Instructor. We're here on the instructors page, and I'm just going to use one of these view links to quickly get to it. Now this will actually log you in as that instructor, so let's take a look at how that works. Now I've already been logged in as instructor 1, so it's actually asking me, do I want to go back to being an admin, or do I want to proceed to the instructor dashboard? I'll say instructor dashboard. So like I said, you are now logged in as the instructor, and you'll see this switch back to admin up here. You'll only see this if you are an administrator and you log in to preview what an instructor's dashboard looks like. If it's the actual instructor logging in, they won't see this. And then I've added this additional instructor dashboard menu item. This is for the front end dashboard, which we'll get to later, but I just added that to make it easier for me to access that front end dashboard page. And then at any time, if we want to get out of the dashboard, we can click exit dashboard, which will take us back to our home page. So when we get to this backend dashboard, we have a nice overview of how many courses this instructor has, how many students are in those courses, if there's any WooCommerce products associated with it. The instructor will see the earnings, both paid and unpaid, here in this graph. That's if you're using that commission feature. You can also get some basic course reports right here. There's 2 courses that this instructor is assigned to, and you can switch between those and view some course reports. And then submissions will include all of your essays as well as assignments. They will both show up in this submissions area here, and you'll be able to see which course and lesson they're associated with, their status, their type, all that kind of stuff will show up down here in submissions, so that that instructor can quickly open up that submission, take a look at it, and either grade it, assign some points, do whatever they need to do, or provide some feedback to the student. Now, if we take a look over here at the left-hand navigation, you'll notice that this looks a lot like the backend navigation for WordPress and LearnDash specifically. So all of these options right here are the same as they are in the backend, except we are able to rename this. And so instead of this saying LearnDash LMS, we were able to create a custom name for that. So I typed in Learning Platform. You could type in your brand name or whatever else you might want to put there. And then all of these pages here will be pulled from LearnDash. And then there's also comments, and then WooCommerce products. So you can list all those products or add a new one. You can look at your profile page. So this is going to look just like the profile page in the back end of WordPress. It has all of the same options. And then if we come here to Learning Platform and we take a look at courses, again, like I said, this looks very similar to how the back end of WordPress looks. That's one of the downsides to using the back end dashboard. So when I show you the front end dashboard, you might like that one a lot more. So this is going to look similar to the back end of WordPress, and you can use it in very much the same way. So you can edit any of these courses. You can jump right into the builder. You can quick edit them. You can do whatever you need to do, just like you can in the back end of WordPress. What is different though is the front end course creator. So just like all of the pages here, before I go to the front end course creator, I'll just show you that all of these pages are going to look just like they look in your regular WordPress dashboard. The big exception here is when you're on courses, you can add a new course via the front end course creator. So this front end course creator is a huge benefit and a huge feature of the Instructor Role plugin. So let's take a look at how that works. So I'm going to click Add New from Front End Course Creator, and we get this new looking screen. Now this is going to let us do all the same things that we can do from the back end of WordPress, but it has a much different design, and just the layout and the user interface is going to look a little bit different. So you'll have some options up here on the top: move to trash, view the course, or preview it. Status and visibility, you can change that if you wanted to set this to be scheduled for a different time. You can save it to draft, or you can publish it right from this page. You will have your tags and categories over here. Notice that we disabled course categories in those previous, those general settings. And so it's not an option for the instructor to be able to add any categories. Tags still are available, but you can also disable this in LearnDash itself. If you don't use categories and tags, you can just disable those via LearnDash, and then they won't show up here. So you can add your course title in this spot. You can set a featured image. You click that, it uses the default WordPress media library, so you can come in here and grab some files. You can upload some of your own. And then you also have this course description. One thing to note here is that it looks like we cannot use the block editor for the course description. That would be a nice feature for them to add. I'm not sure if they're working on it or not, but it does look like we have to use the old classic editor that's more of just this basic WYSIWYG style. It does look like that's the only option here for putting in a course description. But then we can come over to the Builder tab. This will look similar, but again, it's just got a new style and a new design. So this is our general course content. We can add lessons in here. We can add section headings. Then we can add topics beneath those lessons. And we can create our course similarly to how we would create it in the WordPress backend. But again, it's just a new interface. Same thing with our quizzes. We can add a new quiz. And then this tells us once we give the quiz a name and we click add, we'll actually be redirected to the quiz builder. So in addition to the course, the front-end course builder that we're looking at right now, there is also a front-end quiz builder where you can add questions and everything like that. But again, it'll have this nice new design. And then you do have your course content library over here where you can open up for any topics, quizzes, or lessons that have already been created. You can search. You'll have a listing of all of them listed here. You can sort back between recent and view everything, or you can just search for the name of that lesson, especially if you're using shared course steps and you have the same lesson in multiple courses. This is nice, works very similar to how the backend of WordPress works. And you can drag and drop those over into the course content creator. And then all the same settings that you're used to are a part of the front-end course creator as well. They're just in these accordion sections, so all of your course access settings are here. There's some navigation settings to choose between linear and freeform. And then you've got course material, you can enable that, certificates, if you have a challenge exam, all that kind of stuff. You can do custom pagination. Your users are available there. And then sharing the course settings. This is what allows you to actually share this course with a different instructor. So one of the benefits of this plugin that we haven't mentioned yet is that you can have multiple instructors on a single course. And so here, if we come into this box, you'll have a listing of all of the other users that have the instructor role assigned to them, and they'll appear here, and you can choose them. And so I myself am instructor 1 right now. I will be the primary instructor, but instructor 2 will also be an instructor on this course. And then all of the stuff that happens in this course on these quizzes, instructor 2 will also be able to see that information on their dashboard. They'd be able to look at those reports. They would be able to approve different assignments, all that kind of stuff. So we can add them in that option there. And then groups is going to look just like the groups page does in the backend of WordPress. And so all from this screen, this front end screen, we can do everything we need to do without any access to the back end of WordPress. So I'm just going to head back to all courses, and you'll see it takes me back to my backend dashboard page, and I'm on the all courses screen. So I didn't save any of those courses, and so you'll see a couple of just course titles that are here as a draft. So it automatically saves it as a draft once you exit out. If you don't publish it, then it'll just still be in here in this on the all courses screen. So that is a good look at the back-end dashboard as well as the front-end course creator. So what I'm going to do now is show you the front-end dashboard and show you how to set it up and how it looks a lot different than the back-end dashboard. Actually, a couple of quick things here before I show you the front-end dashboard. I just want to show you the options for the back-end dashboard. You can customize quite a few things, and so you do that from your LearnDash LMS and Instructor. And then we come here to backend WP dashboard. So you'll see a note here that says they've introduced this new front end dashboard. You might want to do that, and if you wanted to completely disable the backend, you can do that from this setting. But if you do choose to use the backend dashboard, a couple of things that I wanted to show you here. On the Appearance tab, this is where we can rename that LearnDash LMS label to something else. So I just named it Learning Platform. You can brand that with a brand name or your company name or whatever you might want to put there. And then there are a couple of different layouts you can use. You can also change the My Dashboard label to be something else. You can also choose between a handful of different color presets. And if you wanted to, you can click on Custom, and then you actually get these 7 different colors here that you can customize to make it look more like your brand. You can also adjust the font. So you can open up this font family, and you've got a lot of Google fonts that you can choose from in here. And you can also set the font size to be either normal, or if you wanted it to be large across the board, you could set this to large, and that would increase the font size across the board for the entire dashboard. You can also choose the logo that was up in the left-hand corner of that dashboard. So I just uploaded a LearnDash logo, but you would obviously put your company's logo on there. And then you can choose an alignment for that logo and a background color as well. So all of that is customizable from the Appearance tab. And then the Overview tab, this is where you can actually show and hide different blocks on the Instructor Overview page. So I'll show you how you can do this on the front end dashboard with actual blocks in the block editor. But if you're using the backend version, you have to use these toggles to either show or hide the different settings. So let's say that you're not using commissions at all, and you're not using, let's say you're not using WooCommerce either. If you're not using WooCommerce, you would turn off the products block. If you're not using commissions, you would turn off the earnings block. And then course reports, submissions, let's say your instructors aren't responsible for handling any of the submissions, the assignments, or the essays, then you could disable that. The course and student block, these are the ones that just show the amount of courses that that instructor is assigned to, and then the number of students that are in those courses that that instructor is responsible for. So that's what those two options are there. So you can show or hide those labels, and then if everything is hidden, then you can adjust the message that shows up if all of those blocks are turned off. But for the most part, you're going to have some of those shown. If you're using a backend dashboard, you wouldn't want to disable everything, because then what's the point of having a backend dashboard? And then the final thing here is the menu settings. So you can actually add custom menu items to that left-hand navigation. So by default, you'll see LearnDash LMS has this red lock icon. That means that it has to be there. That's kind of the whole point of having the backend dashboard, so you can't completely remove that. Same thing goes for all of the main sub pages for LearnDash. So you can change that this doesn't say LearnDash anymore, and it says whatever you want it to, but all of these options have to remain the same. You can come in here though and actually hide some of these. So you can hide and then hide and restrict. Hide and restrict means it won't actually let them get to it at all. If you just hide it, technically it still is accessible, but it just won't be shown in that left-hand dashboard. So you can do that for some of these options under LearnDash. And then same thing with comments. I will also mention that you can move these options around. So if you wanted products to be above comments, you just click and hold and drag, and you can move those things around. And then if we wanted to completely hide comments, maybe we wanted to hide products as well, you could also come into maybe hide the new products so they can view existing products, but they can't create new ones. You can do all of that kind of stuff here in these menu settings. And then you can also come over here, add a custom menu to any URL you want. And then if you wanted to show a little icon, you could do that as well. And this link will just give you a little bit more information about which dash icons you can use and what you need to put in this box for a specific icon to show up. Once you add that custom menu item, you can then drag and drop it anywhere within these different options here, so it shows up where you want it to. And of course, hit Save Settings when you're all finished, and that will update what your left-hand navigation looks like in the backend dashboard. So that covers everything for the backend dashboard. Now let's take a look at the front-end dashboard. So by default, when you install the Instructor Role plugin for LearnDash, a Wisdom dashboard page will be created for you that you can use as your front-end dashboard. If for some reason this isn't created, or you wanted to customize it or create your own, you can certainly do that. So the page that I've selected to be my instructor dashboard, my front-end dashboard, will have this Wisdom dashboard page displayed after it. So you know that this is the one that is assigned to be the dashboard page. The way that we assign it is we come into LearnDash LMS and Instructor. We come over here to the Front-End Dashboard tab. And this option right here for Select Front-End Dashboard Page, we come into our drop-down. This has a list of all of the pages. So you'll want to make sure that this page is created first. Once it's created and published, then you come to this page and you open up this drop-down, choose Instructor Dashboard, and click Save Settings. That sets it as your front-end dashboard page that you'll use. You can use this button to quickly view the dashboard, but I just want to show you a little bit more about how to create that page. So let's hop back over to our Pages and All Pages, and we'll come into our Instructor Dashboard to edit it. And like I said, this will be added for you initially, but you can customize all the different information that shows up here. So I'm going to open up this document overview and just take a look at the list view and see what's going on here. So we've added the Wisdom Dashboard Tabs block, and that has all of these tabs that you see here on the left-hand side. And so each one of these tabs, we can open it up. We see this tab has the Wisdom Instructor Overview. If we come to this tab for courses, we've added the Wisdom Courses for LearnDash. So each one of these is an individual block that you can add on your own. So you don't actually have to use all these tabs. If you want to use all these tabs in this layout and design, then you'll definitely want to add the Wisdom Tabs block. But if you just wanted to create your own page, then you don't need to add the Wisdom Tabs, and you can add each individual piece that you wanted on the page. So if you just wanted an overview and courses and that's it, then you can just add this block here and this block here for courses. So if we click on this tab, then we see that the Wisdom Courses is this block right here, which has a course grid, which has all of our courses listed. It'll allow the instructor to edit the course, view the course, or delete the course. It'll show categories tags, it'll show the date, it'll show the instructor, the course title. It's got what type of course it is, whether it's open or free, and it'll have the featured image. And then there's also some filters you can use, and you can look at just you as the instructor, just your courses or all the courses, which ones are published, which ones are still in draft mode, etc. So, and then there's also a button that will launch the front-end course creator as well if you come up here and click New Course. And of course a search bar as well to search different courses. So this is what the Wisdom Courses for LearnDash block looks like, and it's housed within the dashboard tabs, but it doesn't have to be. So I wanted to show you guys that this is how you can create different things. Again, each one of these, if you come to quizzes, you'll see this. If you come to products, it'll be similar to courses, only it'll have your WooCommerce products. Commissions, we'll have this nice graph and a nice commission summary here where you can export as well, and you'll see your payouts transaction history so that instructor can see every single time a payout was made. They'll be able to see every one of those transactions down here. Same thing, you've got assignments, you've got essays, and you've got settings as well. This is a way for them to edit their profile. All of this information is stuff that's in the WordPress backend as well. And then they can come over and add a PayPal email. This is if they're going to be receiving PayPal payouts for commissions. They would add that there. And then some basic just password information here on the account tab. So all of this kind of stuff is available for you to create whatever kind of front-end dashboard you want to create. Once you've created it, make sure you publish it or update your changes. And once you've done that, like I showed you, you would come to the LMS instructor and you would come over to front-end dashboard and make sure that you set it here and save your settings. So now let's jump over and take a look at what it looks like to be an instructor and view that front-end dashboard on the front end of a site. So here we are taking a look at the front-end dashboard in the Instructor Role plugin. This is the instructor view. I will note that you also do have an admin view. So where the back-end dashboard is only for instructors and not admins, the front-end dashboard is actually visible by both instructors and admins. So I'm actually using a demo account here from WisdmLabs just to show you this that's pre-populated with a bunch of data so it looks a little bit more realistic in terms of what you'll actually see on your site that has courses and students and all of that. So right now we are logged in as an instructor, and you'll see that this instructor Emma has 3 courses. She's got 49 students, 4 submissions, and 5 quiz attempts. And then you've got each of these blocks here on this overview page just of her earnings, the top courses, a list of her latest submissions. These have both assignments here, and you'll see an essay there. And then a course report as well, where you can switch between different courses to look at completed, in progress, and not started. So this is all just the overview screen. And then when you come over to courses, this will have a nice grid of all of the different courses. If we click mine, this will just show us the 3 courses that Emma is an instructor for. I thought it would only show those 3. It looks like she is actually instructor on more than just those 3. So it's got her here as the instructor for quite a few more than just those 3 courses. You can go through all of these different options here. You can search, you can new filters, and then new course. If I create this, it will open up the front-end course creator where I can create a new course. Here we are in that front-end course creator that I've already showed you guys. Quizzes is going to look very similar to the courses screen. You've got products, also looks very similar. These will be your WooCommerce products if you're using WooCommerce. Then you've got just the commission screen. This shows a listing of all of the orders that were placed, what the original price was, what the commission price was. So here it looks like the commission was 20% of 1,000 is 200. And then the source, it'll have WC if it is for WooCommerce. And then assignments, there are 2 assignments in here. You'll see this one looks like it was already graded. This one was not graded. So you can actually come over to submissions and look at all of these submissions. Here they are. It shows you this JPEG and this PNG. You can approve it right from the screen if you need to. You can also edit it. You can add a comment, or you can download the assignment as well. Essays is going to be very similar to assignments. We don't have any examples in here, but it'll work and feel very much the same way. And then settings, this allows the instructor to edit their profile, also update their PayPal information, or set a new password under the account page. And then because this is WisdmLabs demo, they also have, which I think is worth mentioning, that they're going to be adding certificates, course reports, groups, comments, and an email notifications tab where instructors will be able to configure the emails that get sent out to learners, which I will show you after this. I'll go back to the emails tab. You have to manage all of that as an admin right now in the backend of WordPress, but eventually it looks like they are going to build out some email notifications that instructors will be able to manage on their own. And then let's take a quick look at what this dashboard looks like if we're logged in as an admin. So let's switch over to that view. And it's going to look very similar, but this should have basically everything that we have on the site should be under this. You'll notice already that like latest submissions, there aren't any because this admin isn't an instructor of courses, so there are no submissions that are assigned to that the actual admin of the site. But all the rest of these will look pretty similar. The admin will just have access to kind of more data than the instructor will. The instructor will mostly just be able to see the specific things that they are in charge of. So this is the front-end dashboard for both instructors and admins. You can hide this right here, and you can also, what's kind of neat is you can change what this button does. So by default, you can have an action button at the top of your tabs. If you're using the Wisdom tabs for LearnDash block, when you create your front-end dashboard page, you can have it default to the front-end course creator by clicking this button, or you can choose your own button that goes to your own unique URL of any kind and then change what this text says. So you can do that when you're creating your front-end dashboard page with one of the blocks. You can, in the block settings, change this to be whatever you'd like it to be. I think that just about does it for the front-end dashboard. So next up, I will show you some information about those email notifications. So for the email notifications, a quick reminder that you'll want to go to General Settings, scroll down to Instructor Role Features, and make sure that the quiz completion emails and course purchase emails, either both or one or the other, depending on which ones you want to use, make sure that these are checked to enable them, otherwise they won't send. Once you've enabled them, we're going to come up here to the Email tab, and this is where we can customize what these update notifications look like. So on this screen, the first thing we'll notice is we have 4 different tabs. So there's a course, there's for products, there's a course purchase, and there's a quiz completion. So those 2 settings I just showed you are going to be for the course purchase and the quiz completion. So these are both to instructors. So that's what the 2 general settings on this page, quiz completion, course purchase, that's what this tab and this tab are for. So as we look at these 2, quiz completion, you can put in a custom subject line and you can put in a custom email content, add images here if you need to. And then there are some short codes that are dynamic that you can use. So you can pull the user ID, username, email, quiz name, points scored, all that kind of stuff. So you can add that to the quiz completion email that the instructor gets. So if you want to make sure the instructor sees the result, the percentage result, and then the points scored and the quiz name, I could see those being very valuable. And then if you wanted to put the user's email in there as well, that might be helpful so you know exactly which student took which quiz and what score they got. And that would all get emailed to the instructor every time a quiz was completed. So you can add those short codes to either the subject or the email content. And then course purchase is going to look very similar. This is going to get sent when a course is purchased as a WooCommerce product. Any instructor that's related to that course will receive this email. And again, just subject and email content. And then there are some different short codes here for site title, course name, instructor name, and customer name. So all of those can be added to the subject or the email content here. Then we also have these 2 other ones. We've got product. So a couple of different things that can happen. Anytime a product is updated, the admin can get a notification. So you would add in your email address here, anybody that you wanted to get notified anytime a WooCommerce product has been changed or updated, what the subject line is, and then the email content. And again, there are short codes that we can use here for like product title example, and then permalink that'll take you directly to that product, and then the update date and time as well. So exactly when that update was made, you can put that information here in the email content as well. And then this will go to the admins, and then this one down here, again, is optional, but this will go to instructors. So if you want your instructor to know anytime it's updated, let's say you have multiple instructors on one course, instructor 1 makes a change, you want to make sure instructor 2 always knows about it, you would fill in this information here so that all of your instructors get an update notification. And then this top one is more for admins or anybody else that's associated with the site that might need to know. You can put those email addresses comma separated here, and then those admins would get emails. And then this course tab is basically the same thing as the product one, which is for WooCommerce products, except the course is for LearnDash courses. So anytime a course is updated, you put in the email address of who you want to be notified, you put in a subject line, you put in what you want to have in the email body, and then again, this is going to go to any other instructors of that course. If you have multiple, then all those instructors will be notified when a course update is made. So that is the email notifications portion of the instructor role page. I do want to also spend just a quick moment on this PayPal Payouts tab, just to mention that if you're using the commissions feature and you're going to be paying a commission to your instructors when courses are bought, then you'll want to make sure you come to this PayPal Payouts tab and fill out all of this information. You do need a business account with PayPal in order to use this feature, but you can insert all this information. You can learn from the documentation that WisdmLabs has exactly how to get all of this information from your PayPal account. Once you do, make sure it's filled all out, make sure you choose your currency. You can add a note here to recipients. It's completely optional, but you can let them know why that money was sent to them and save that information, but this is all needed in order to use the PayPal Payouts feature. The final thing I want to show you here is the profile tab. So you can choose to have profiles created for each of your instructors. This is basically like an instructor bio page that has a bunch of information about that instructor, and WisdmLabs will create those for you, and then you can customize them a little bit further. So you'll want to check this box right here if you want your profile links to appear on course archive pages and single pages. It's worth noting you can also use a short code that will add all of the instructors with a link to their profile page on any site, on any page, anywhere you want. So there is a short code that allows you to do that, but you can also check this box and that will automatically add those links for you. So we've got a couple of sections here. I can't remember if all of these came by default. I think they did, or at least education and achievements did. Maybe I added biography, but you'll have a couple by default when you install the plugin, but then you can come in here and add some of your own. So when you click add, you'll be able to give the section a title that will show up on the page. You can optionally choose an image. There's a couple built in here for you for education and achievements, or you can choose a custom image, click select, and then choose any image from your media library, upload a new one. And then this is the other big thing here. You can add an icon, and you can have a data type. So the two options that they give you for data types are paragraphs and lists. So if you wanted to just type in some general text in a paragraph format, you would choose that one. If you wanted to have, so like for achievements, for example, is something that makes a lot more sense to have bullet points. So you would do a list for something like achievements or any other type of thing where you're going to have multiple options listed out. So you would choose that. So I'm going to cancel this and just show you some of these ones I already have. You can delete a section by clicking the trash can, or you can edit it by clicking the wrench icon. So you'll see biography here. I've got it set up. It's a paragraph. I've got the students icon that's going to be showing up next to it. I've added a custom image. And then education. This one is a list, and there's a trophy icon. So you'll see how that works here in a second. And then achievements. That one's also a list, trophy icon. It's going to look very similar to education. And you can drag and drop to move these around if you'd like to change the order. So once you as an admin has set up what type of information you want your instructor to be able to include on their profile page, now let me jump over and show you how the instructor themselves can edit this information. So here I am in the front-end dashboard. So you can edit this information in the front-end dashboard, but you can also do it from the back-end dashboard. Admins can also do it for their instructors. If their instructor just wants to send a resume or an email with this information in it, then the admin can actually go in and just add it to the instructor's profile. You can do all that through the back end of WordPress, just going to users and all users and then editing that instructor. All this information will be available on that page. It's also available in the front end dashboard for each instructor for him or her to add this information on their own. So you'll see bio. This is a paragraph, so we have to put in freeform text here. Education is a list, so we'd have school 1, we'd click add new, we'd put school 2, and etc. Same thing with achievements. We add multiple achievements. Once we put one in here, we'd add a new one. If we added too many, we want to delete them. We just do that with the trash can icon there. And then social media links. This is optional, but if you wanted to allow your instructors to put links to their social media, currently the Instructor Role plugin supports Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So you would have them put the full URL to their Twitter or X page, their Facebook page, and their YouTube channel. So put the full URL in there, and once they save changes, let's take a look at what that instructor profile page actually looks like on the front end now. So here I am on a simple LearnDash course page. I know it's not designed really well. This is just a testing site here, but you'll see that we've got Instructor 1 and Instructor 2. So there are 2 instructors that have access to this course, and they're both listed here. And then if I click on Instructor 1, this will take me over to that instructor's profile page. So this is what they look like. You'll have this bar here up at the top. You'll have an image here, so this will be the user avatar that will show up here for the instructor. Their name will be listed right here. It'll always say instructor underneath that because that's the role that they've been assigned. And then this will have how many courses that they're a part of and how many enrolled students in the courses that they're a part of will show up here. The Connect With Me section is what will list out your Facebook, your Twitter or X, and then your YouTube channels. So all of that information will be here. Again, it's optional. You don't need to include it, but if you want them to be able to promote themselves, you can do that. Then we've got on the right-hand side, we've got 2 tabs, one for introduction and one for courses. So courses will display, again, those 2 courses that the instructor offers. You'll see in course 1, course 2, they will show up there. And then on the introduction, this is where you'll have a bio for instructor 1. The biography is our paragraph that I showed you how to add just a minute ago. And then you've got education, which is a list, and achievements, which is a list. So the icon you choose for the list will show up here. That's why there's trophies next to each one of these, because I chose the trophy icon. And I chose it again for achievements, and so each one of these achievements that you list out has a trophy icon next to it. And then you can add this one main image here on the left. I will note that it does look like you have to make sure you upload the right size image. So if you check our article on LDX design, we've got specific sizing right now, but it doesn't look like WisdmLabs is adjusting this image. So if you upload an image that's too large, you'll see some overlap here with the confetti here on the trophy and some more overlap here. So it is important that you upload an image that is a correct size. Until WisdmLabs fixes this and make sure they shrink it automatically for us, we need to upload the right image. You'll actually see up here for biography, I uploaded a massive photograph that was like 2,000 pixels wide, and it's just showing the top left corner, which is all gray. That's why there's this whole gray background. But this is basically, this gray box is supposed to just be an image that's showing up just over to the left here. So that's something that can be improved with the plugin. But generally speaking, if you upload something that is the correct size, it will show up over here to the left and it won't overlap. So you'll have a nice introduction there for that instructor on their page. And guys, that's about it. There are a few more smaller details that you can do with the Instructor Role plugin. I didn't quite go into everything. I know this was a little bit longer of a video, but there are some more things you can do. And if you're interested in those, please check out the LDX Design website and look up that Instructor Role. We went through everything on that page with instructions on how to edit everything, a lot more screenshots, all that kind of stuff you can find on there if you're looking for more information. This is one of the only plugins that of its kind that's out there. And so while it still isn't perfectly polished and has a few things that definitely need to be improved and some features that I think they could really add, it is one of the only plugins that does what it does. So if you're interested, if you've got multiple instructors or you really need a front-end type of solution for course creation and a front-end dashboard, definitely give it a look. It's by WisdmLabs, and it is the Instructor Role plugin for LearnDash. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video.